Hello, my name is Maria Fernanda, and I'm the host of IO Scholarship Superheroes podcast.
Easy, easy, so easy.
This podcast is only a 10-minute podcast that highlights the best kept secret of IO scholars, job recruiters, and community influencers. And most importantly, we want to provide you financial resources to go to college debt-free and become financially savvy. Welcome to the IO Scholarship Podcast. Today, we are honored to welcome Itcelia Segoviano Ramirez, a proud mother, community leader, and education leader from California's Eastern Coachella Valley. As a first-generation college graduate, Itcelia earned her degree in legal studies from UC Berkeley and transformed her passion for educational equity into a lifelong mission of opening doors for students from underrepresented communities. Today, she serves as an assistant executive at Stiles Hall, where she leads college access and mentorship programs that have helped students from her hometown gain admission to institutions such as UC Berkeley, Stanford, and Harvard. She's also the founder of Coming Home Project and will begin her master's in educational leadership at the Harvard Graduate School of Education this fall. Itcelia, welcome to the IO Scholarship Podcast. We are so excited to have you with us today.
Hi, Maria. Thank you for having me.
Well, from those hearing your story for the first time, take us back to your time, at East Coachella Valley. And what was your upbringing like? And tell me a little bit more about your journey.
Yeah, so thank you for that question. So I was born and raised in the Eastern Coachella Valley in a small trailer park community, which now that I look back, it was a very from low income community, but I had the best memories there. My bestest of friends who are still my friends now, and I consider them my family. We grew up together in that trailer park. And so I knew I wanted to go to college because during that time, college was pushed. It was reach for the stars, and I didn't really know how many colleges there were, but they would always mention Harvard, and that Harvard was the best school to go to. And so whenever someone would ask me, where do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to be a lawyer and I'm going to go to Harvard. That's the only answer I would have. But for me, education was really my escape, and it was where I can be a child because my reality at home was very different. I grew up raised by a single mother. But before that, when she was with my father, there was a lot of hardships. There was a lot of domestic violence and abuse at home. And so by the courage and strength of my mom, she got us away from that situation and she raised us. And everything I am is thanks to her and her just the woman that she is, and seeing how limited her options were because she depended a lot on my dad. I realized I needed an education, not so much for the career, the title, it was more so for options. And so, I think I held on to school, and I needed to get the best grades, and I needed to have straight A's so that I can get all the scholarships to afford to go to college.
Well, your story is very inspiring because you're very resilient, and that's a very good quality to have. But on top of that, Itcelia, as we open opportunities for underserved students, that the only equalizer in society is education. Yeah. So you had a vision since you were young, even though despite all the challenges that you went through. So was there a specific moment when you realized that education could completely change your life with opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was many of them, but it was mostly when I would have conversations with teachers or my counselors, and they would see something in me that I didn't see at the time. And, there was a specific moment where I was in my Spanish class in high school, and a teacher, her name was Miss Vaglienti, she was like, you're really smart and you have so much potential. Have you heard about AP classes? And I had no idea what they were at the time. There was very limited AP courses in my high school. And so she signed me up for an AP exam, even though I hadn't taken the AP class. And I took the AP exam and I scored, I think it was like a 4 or a 5. And she was like, you have a lot of potential. And so from there, she made sure that I signed up for more AP classes. And by doing that, I started being involved in more scholarships and more organizations, and I started going outside in my community and being involved. And I realized that there were people who looked like me that had these amazing roles and giving back to the community, and they were making money doing this. So that's when I realized that I needed to go to college to see what was out there and not have to follow the footsteps that my family had to because of survival.
Visit IO Scholarships, as we have access to thousands of STEM scholarships based on your unique ethnic background, waiting for you today. Some of them only require 2.5 GPA and no essay. Remember, the more you apply, the more chances you have to win. Apply today. It seems to me that you have a lot of mentors that went through your journey with you. So tell me about who is your biggest mentor?
It's so hard to choose because I kind of feel guilty. I feel like I had so many to thank. It really does take a village to support a student in their goals and dreams that they have. And just immediately who comes to mind is someone immediate who's my current mentor and my boss. His name's Jonathan Osor. He has really poured into me professionally and personally, and wants me to succeed, and he challenges me to think beyond who I am day to day in my current role, but more so like the type of leader that I want to be and the impact that I want to have. And so he will challenge me to do things that make me scared and that I feel like I'm not qualified for, but he'll tell me that I'll never know if I don't try. And so I really have a lot to thank for his leadership and his development on me.
Yes, and support is so key, because you saw your mom, how she struggled, and to have that support system of somebody who challenged you to get to the next level. I always say to the students when they kind of get a little bit discouraged when they don't win a scholarship or something, say no to them. And I always say, a no doesn't mean a no. Just make sure that you speak with the right person at the right time, have a clear vision, and somebody who believes in you is so important. It's not only about the mentorship, it's about the time that we spend with the students to make sure that we get through the journey from scholarship to graduation to job opportunities. So tell me a little bit more about your organization. Your leadership is incredible. The work that you are doing to change students' lives. Can you tell me a little bit more about the initiatives that you are leading at the organization and how you can help more students?
Yes. So Stiles Hall is a private nonprofit organization. We're located right in front of UC Berkeley. And for over 140 years, Stiles Hall has truly made a difference on not only UC Berkeley students, but students throughout the state of California. So a program that I have the honor of leading is called Experience Berkeley High School. And we pair UC Berkeley undergraduate mentors with students in their senior year of high school to complete a competitive UC application. And I think the real magic that our program does is pairing them one-to-one with someone who was just in their shoes about a year or 2 years ago and understands the same fears that they have, the questions that they think they might not want to ask because they think they should already know the answer. They're able to ask their mentor because they went through those same realities as they did. And so I really do think that's the magic of our program, is having people make you feel like you can trust them and make you feel like it's okay to open up about things that you don't think will make you qualified, but actually are your superpowers on the UC application. So that's that program, Experience Berkeley, is so near to my heart. I wish I had that type of support when I was in high school. I almost didn't apply to the UCs because it was just a very complicated process to navigate. And my sister was just like, just apply, like don't close the door on yourself. myself, let them do it. And so that's why I ended up applying, and thankfully I had people pushing me, but it is a really hard system to navigate. And if you don't have people supporting you, a lot of us can count ourselves out. But beyond that, Stiles Hall is really a home away from home for a lot of first generation students from underserved backgrounds. It's a place where we don't feel like we have to pretend to be someone we're not. We can just come here and meet people who share the same values as us, want to build community, value relationship building. And it's a lot of the initiatives are student born. So Underground Scholars, the Basic Needs Center, Represented. There's so many beautiful organizations that do really impactful work that have grown out of students seeing a gap and living those situations and wanting to do something about it.
Yes, there are so many misconceptions, and I wish there was your organization when I graduated years ago, or even an IO scholarship where in a platform you have access to thousands of scholarships. And truly the networking is so important, and to build an ecosystem where they feel heard and where they can share openly, as you said, their fears. What are the biggest misconceptions about getting into UC Berkeley that students should overcome?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one is thinking that they don't belong, that that's for other kids, that that's not for them. They do belong. I've seen, especially students in my community from the Eastern Coachella Valley, there's so much talent, there's so much potential. And I think a lot of these students are told to be realistic and to limit their options. And a lot of us internalize that, but they really are capable of whatever they set their minds to. And I think a lot of them kind of also realize that it is really expensive to go to college. And so they think they won't be able to pay for it. My own mom told me like she's not going to be able to support me financially. So I needed to either go to a community college where it was a little cheaper or just stay local. And so having folks who have already navigated financial aid be able to talk to my mom and explain to her that it was actually affordable and I was basically getting a full ride helped ease her anxieties about letting me leave to Berkeley, because it's an 8-hour drive. And so I try to dismantle those myths with students as well. First, letting them know that they are capable and that they do belong and that they can afford college.